Hello there and welcome back to another element that we're going to make with the Wild Hedgerows kit. If you haven't already seen, there are 2 other videos so far and this is the 3rd one, and I'm showing how to make elements from this particular digital kit, which is in my Etsy shop, and the links are all in the description box down below. Now for today's project I've printed off 2 of the same page here, and I've got some painter's tape paper on some green which is on a roll, and I also need a piece of fabric, but I haven't sorted that one out yet. So let's get down to it, shall we? So I've cut my 2 pages from off the paper. But as you can see, I've left these white borders on the end, and that's because I just want to show you that there's many ways to skin a cat. So if I could just add these as a flip on my page, so if I folded that white edge back and just tapered off those corners, I could glue this white edge onto a page in my journal so that it acts as a flip. By the same token, I could have left a white edge up the top up here and folded that down, and then it would have been a flip this way. Okay, so the same with this one. Fold that white edge back, which is narrower because this is the center part between the 2 pages on the page, and I could have done the same with that as well, and then you've got another flip there as well. Okay, so we're not doing that, or I'm not doing that, should I say. So I'm just going to finish trimming off these white edges because I want them as 2 separate pieces for now. So I'll just trim that one off. Ooh. I think my blade is on its way out because it's doing it a little bit rough edged. I think it's only when you push the blade up that it's not very happy. Before I glue this paper to anything, I want to actually cut a slit along the top edge of these lines here, and I want them to be slightly wider than that circle. So if I get my ruler and just mark it with a pencil, so I want to cut it to about there, because I can soon rub that out. And same on the other side to about there. Okay, and I'm just going to cut a slit between those 2 points. So with my sharp knife, just going to cut from A through to B. Okay, so I've now got this slit here. Okay, but it's not going right the way to the edge. Now I want to do the same on this one. I might cheat actually. Okay, maybe not quite such a good idea. Oh, or maybe from there to about there. down a bit so I can see the mark. Okay. And now I've got those 2 pages there with the slits in. So I'm going to glue these 2 pieces here onto this green paper, and I'm going to leave a small gap between the 2, okay? But I need to just think about where I'm actually going to be placing glue on the back. So I want it down this edge here, and I want it across the bottom, because I need to leave this space here devoid of glue. When it comes to the top piece, I need to go up there and across there, and in fact I can afford to cover all of that top piece above the slit, and the same on this side as well. Okay, so I'll just show you what I mean. So down this larger piece, just along the sides, around the 3 sides. Okay, and then if I twizzle it round so I don't get my hand covered in glue, this top piece here above where the slit is, I'm going to place glue above the slit, and then around the other 3 sides and a bit down the middle. Right, and we're going to do the same with this piece. So around the 3 sides, and then twizzle it round, and this top piece we're going to go around the 3 sides and just above, by about 1/4 of an inch above where the slit is, put glue all across the bottom. Alright, so I'm going to place it along this pre-cut straight edge, and I'm leaving about 2.5 inches here on this side, and then that will glue on there. And then this one is going to be along the bottom edge as well, and round about 1/2 inch-ish between the 2 pieces. And then I'm going to cut it about 2.5–3 inches on this side as well. And then I'm going to cut straight along the top edge. So that I'm left with that. And then I can fold that then in half. Let's make sure we've got them lined up. Yeah. So I've got a little bit of the green showing just here. Sorry, the sun's decided to come out to play. So there's just a little bit of green there in the middle. If I open it back out, these 2 edges, these flaps here, I'm going to leave a little bit of a green border again on this side. Yep. And the same on this one. Leave a little bit of a green border, just so as it matches up with what's in the middle. Okay, open those back out. I'm going to fold this in just by about 1/2 inch, just because this paper is a little bit on the thin side, and this will just help to give that edge a little bit more strength and hide any bad cutting done on my part. I'm going to do the same on the other edge. Okay, so I'm going to stick those two little hems, so to speak, down back onto the paper. This glue when it's new is a real pain, because it either doesn't want to flow out or it flows out too much. Starts to behave itself after a while, but as I say, when it's brand new it just goes a bit like, oh, gets all a bit excited. Okay, same on this edge. Fold that little hem in, and then I want to place glue across the bottom and the top up to that crease mark. So that when I fold it over, it's now going to form a little pocket on the back side. So that we've now got a folded page. Have it right way up, Carol, that might help. A folded page that can now go into the journal itself. Now, if I add this as a page and I want to stitch it to the rest of the signature, it's going to go through this thin part here of this painter's paper, and it's too thin. And that's why I want a piece of fabric that I'm just going to sit on here, because it'll add decoration to this green paper, but it'll also give that little bit of extra strength for when we come to attach it into our signature. So I'm going to go off and try and find a piece of fabric, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. Go and put the kettle on and make yourself a brew. See you back here in a sec. Okay, so I found this piece of fabric which I want on this side, because I'm going to have to put it on both sides because of this paper being so thin it'll just rip. So I thought that this fabric went really nicely with this, which will help to tie the two together. So I need to decide what width I want it. So I don't want it too wide because it'll start encroaching on the design otherwise. So probably about 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I'm just going to rip it, because what that means now is, because I've ripped it, it will start to cause some frayed edges, which starts to look really nice. So I'm going to use that bit there. Yeah, I'm going to do that. In fact, hang on a minute, what about if I do that and wrap it round? Yeah, might as well do that, hadn't I? Okay, so we'll start at the bottom. I want my Fabri-Tac glue. Let's just see how wide it is. Okay, so we want a little bit on this side. and a little bit on that side, and a bit up the middle. Start at the bottom, flip it over, and do the same on this side. Come on, glue. Come on, don't be shy. Bit down that side. And a bit up the middle. And trim off the excess. Okay, now I'm going to take this off to my sewing machine just because I want to add some stitching onto this. And let me just remember, yeah. So I'm going to start here. Okay, just make a note of this. I'm going to go across there. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to go across there. I'm going to go down the middle. And then I'm going to go across there, up there, and across there, and finish at the top. Okay, so do it again. Start at the bottom. Snagged my nail varnish. Start at the bottom, go across the bottom, up the side, across the top, down the middle, across the bottom, up the side, and across the top. And that makes it one continuous sweep rather than doing one page and then doing the next page. Okay, so I'm going to go off and stitch this. See you back here in a sec. I've stitched those now together. So I've got these little pockets now on the back, and I've got my little slits here across the top there. Now before I go any further, I just want to add, just on this end and this end here, I'm just going to add a little bit of this magic tape, just a real thin strip. If I can steady my hand, there we go. So a real sort of thin piece, just to prevent that paper from ripping. And the same on this side. I'm not doing, I'm going to do that one, but I'm not doing this one because it's covered by the fabric. So again, a real thin little strip. There. And there. I've just put them past the pencil mark so I can still rub those out. And now I'm going to go on to this second piece of paper. I'm now going to cut these out as tags. So we know that the hole across the top here is going to be lining up roughly with the edge of that circle there. So let's just chop that out. Do it that way, and I'm going to cut a bit off the bottom as well, because if you remember, we've got glue and stitching across this bottom bit here, so the whole piece is not going to fit in. So we want to take a bit off the bottom there, and we've got a nice straight edge there. I'm going to put that up to the edge of that circle. The same on this side. And then the bit off the top. I've also got these two pieces of cream, one's cream card actually and one's an old file folder. So I'm going to stick that onto there to give that a little bit of strength. And then cut that out. Use my bit of plastic card to navigate the angles that I want to create. Flip that over. And then that will fit in that slot. Might need to take a fraction more off the bottom for it to fit in. There we go. And if you look at that now, you can't actually tell that there's a tag in there. I am actually going to put some seam binding on there, so it will be a little bit of a giveaway. But if you just look at that visually, you wouldn't be able to tell because it matches up with the pattern that's behind it. And then you will be able to pull that out and you've got a tag then to sit inside the pocket. So I'm going to do the same with this one from this side. And I'll come back in a second once I've finished it all, and then you can see what it looks like. And there we have it, all done and dusted. So that's that page, and there's the tag inside. I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping on the back side of that. So that slots in there nicely. Open it up, 2 little pockets. Fabric to support the spine when it comes to be stitched in, and that's the back side of it. And again, it's got that tag in it, and that slots in there really nicely as well. And so it's a little bit of a hidden pocket. I mean, there's plenty of room to be able to put other stuff inside that pocket as well. So, you know, you could add something else to it. But that's another element now done using that digital kit. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Please leave a comment, because it's always nice to know what you think, whether you liked it, whether you didn't. Each to their own, you know, everyone has their own taste. And if you're joining along and you're on my Facebook group, please share what you've created for yourself. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Bye.